find the...
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the February Lebanon Redevelopment Commission meeting. We will begin this evening, as we do every night, with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, thank you very much, folks. And Madam Clerk, if you could please note, we have a full house this evening, so all members present. And the first item that I have up for business is the election of officers for this year. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion we retain the same officers for another year if they're also willing.
Okay, so that motion would be myself as president, Dr. Milliman as vice president, and Dr. Taylor as secretary. Would we have a second on said motion?
I'll second it.
We've got a second on there. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you very much for that one. The minutes are not quite ready for this meeting, so we're going to put that on a hold for the evening, which takes us right down to our old business. Under old business, we have the Lebanon Community School Corporation, the Career Engagement Coordinator. And tonight we have with us this evening Kristen Scott. Kristen is joining us from the school corporation. Come on up. I believe you guys received a copy of some data points that Kristen provided the commission, so those should have been received prior to tonight. So.
Well, thank you very much. I can answer any questions that you have, and go ahead.
Pull that mic down.
Yep.
Look, there you go.
I can go ahead and answer any questions that you have about the programming, or provide you just some brief updates, whichever you would prefer.
So just a quick kind of overview on what this program has looked like in the past. So obviously the Redevelopment Commission has a direct impact within our TIF district, right? And we're accountable to providing direct benefit to our members of the TIF. And one of those items that we have in the past allocated funding for is support for the Career Engagement Coordinator in that program. If you note some of the items that you received, that program has grown a ton over these last few years, and they have done great things within our school corporation that has actually gone directly to benefit our TIF members, putting folks in the trades directly, and expanded their membership dramatically from where we started in 2016 was year one?
Correct.
Is that correct?
August of 2015 started this school year.
15 into 16. So with that, Dr. Milliman, do you have any comments on?
Kristen, maybe you could outline just not only some of the enrollment growth, but the kind of the footprint as well within the community, and maybe give us a couple anecdotal, stories, success stories of the program that and how that's benefiting our community.
Absolutely. So actually, driving back from a placement site one day just last year, I thought, oh my goodness, I feel like I continue to visit a lot of the same locations, but then we continue to expand and have new partners that are brought on. So one of the things that I did last spring was, you'll find on our website, I've outlined all of the community partners we've worked with since the implementation of the program and the work-based learning internship starting in 2016. To date, we've had over 90 different community partners that have come to play. A lot of those have been repeated ones that are here local. One of the success stories that I would like to share actually gives me goosebumps to think about it. It started earlier this summer with a student that had great interest in computer programming and software design and all of those things. On paper, I was concerned. I didn't know background-wise how much the student had in that field of area because of the class offerings we have. We were able to find a partner here local. The partner said, hey, have the kid come in for an interview and let's see how it goes. But I want the student to bring in documentation or basically show me examples of the work that he's done. This student came in this summer and showed code and how he had coded these different things. When asked how he was taught, he'd learned some of it in the classes he'd taken there at the high school, but a lot of it had been self-taught too. That was exciting to see that a student had that much interest to self-teach himself that background and that knowledge that I still don't understand to this day. So then fast forward, I got to visit the student in September, and when I visited in September here local, that student already had work that had been done that the organization shared could quite well be patented after what the student had done in just that short amount of time. That community partner has continued to watch that student flourish and grow, does not want that student to get very far, wants to be able to help support him in his journey and the next steps, but doesn't want him very far because he wants him right back here. Has already agreed to hire him for this summer's work and then support him through, his journey as a mentor through college. And I just think that brings such value. That individual actually went ahead and called a university to basically put his recommendation to that university about this student, and the university at that time shared, your phone call means more than anything that can be shown on paper. Just the impact that student's having in that organization here local, and then to be able to have an employer and a former alumni of that university say, hey, this kid's got great potential. You might not see it on paper, but I'm going to tell you why. He's got the drive and the tenacity to do it. So it's exciting to see things like that evolve. I visited another student today that recently earned his CNA certification just this December, and he's already employed. As of tomorrow, he'll be employed completely by a local establishment, and is already picking up as much as he can on the weekend shifts and hoping to extend his internship into the evening that allows him to be full-time to get more benefits, and they'll help with schooling and things like that. So that's exciting to see those students taking on, just within a few short months of earning this certification, already back in our community and providing that care in an area that we know is much in need right now.
Absolutely.
Kristen, there's maybe a couple other programs that I'd like you to maybe just briefly highlight that I'm not sure the folks up here would have day-to-day knowledge of. One would be our cadet teaching program. Certainly selfishly, as superintendent, we want to help, stem that difficult environment we're in right now, not only recruiting but retaining teachers. We want to bring our alumni back as teachers in our building. So talk about that and the dual credit opportunity there as well. And then Dr. Taylor got the ball rolling, and I got to take some credit in my first year with the construction of our new state-of-the-art welding lab, and we reached out to Hendrickson here in town, as other partners as well helped us create a state-of-the-art welding lab on our high school, and talk maybe a little bit about the enrollment changes or increases that have happened as part of that, and how our teachers have embraced that and what that could mean for our community too. Those are skilled trade positions that are going to be available, and hopefully we're going to be able to help the workforce in these buildings that we're all agreeing to build here around our community. So maybe there's a couple. I'd like to maybe have you highlight those a little bit.
Absolutely. So this year we have 9 high school seniors that are enrolled in our cadet teaching program. The cadet teaching program is in partnership with Butler University, where students can earn up to 3 credit hours of dual credit through Butler that can then be transferable to a variety of different organizations or different universities. With that being said, I already saw enrollment for next year. We're up to 12, and I even had a sophomore apply for next year, but isn't able. So I have a student that's eagerly awaiting becoming a senior to apply for the program as well. Those students are back in our classrooms here within the school district working alongside our teachers. I had feedback from a teacher the other day that this student is a natural. I can't wait to see how she evolves over her time at the university, and hopefully we're able to snag her. Great interactions. They're great mentors for our students that are in the elementary and middle school buildings too, seeing a high school student in their classroom giving back and seeing them as a role model. That program has continued. We have a couple students that are actually former participants of the program that are now teachers in our building as well. So that's exciting to see them coming back and being teachers within our areas, or within our district. The other thing that he mentioned was the welding facility that was built and expanded upon. As a former ag teacher and welding instructor myself, the facility that is here is state-of-the-art. It's amazing, the skills that are being taught. The current teacher has really really advanced the program and has earned some certifications that she's now able to apply certifications for our students that are industry recognized, and their industry certifications that are recognized for our students also on the graduation pathways, which is huge too, with moving forward after graduation. So that program continues to grow. In the last year or two, they've added a second level with the sequencing of the CTE courses that are available that allows the students to advance that even further. So that's an area that continues to flourish and to grow throughout the years.
I actually believe so there's a welding team, right?
Yes, there
was
is.
just recently created. And from the stories I heard, I believe there were 2 members of that welding team that placed very high in the state.
Yes.
In fact, one of the girls was top 50 in the state.
Yes, and at the state level for the advanced, which is the high school level, that can only be 2 kids that you send from a high school, which is very difficult when it comes down to having so many kids in the class to knowing who is going to have that interest to go on and compete. So yes, you're correct. They advanced from the district setting and were able to go on to the state level and did very well as well.
Yeah, and that actually then spurred a conversation with Ivy Tech, who is looking to work with the Lebanon School Corporation at offering an additional certification based on the performance at that. So we've already heard her talk about Butler and dual credit there. Ivy Tech was just mentioned with their welding program, and then obviously we know there's a partnership with Vincennes as well. So when you look at what we're able to offer and going to that post-secondary, even if it's in the trades, they're offering great opportunities for these kids. So, any questions or comments for Kristen? So seeing none, generally speaking, we had previously had an agreement in place in the 4-year ballpark, I believe is what the last agreement was. And I believe that was at an amount of $100,000 per year, over $100,000 per year for each of those years. And I believe you saw some of the breakdowns on how that cost works with the CTEs and what the state is able to reimburse versus what it actually costs the school system. So there is some disparity there as well to be able to offer all of these programs that we've talked about. So,
As we partner with new folks that come online, we're continuing some conversations with our certified nursing assistant program certification. I can't speak in quite detail about that right now because some of those negotiations are still happening. The costs increase, right? So, it's get what you pay for type of an arrangement sometimes. And so if we contract with outside agencies to instruct our students, we pay per student what it costs to maintain that enrollment for the students. What we receive from the state through federal Perkins dollars does not offset that entire cost. As we retain staff, they cost more each year. So that 100,000 goes less and less distance as we have more costs with the program each year, but not asking for an additional appropriation above the 100,000, just pointing out that each year that amount goes less and less distance to close that gap. We're just appreciative of being able to offset it in some small way and appreciate the partnership with the city and with the RDC to help retain those future workforce right here in Lebanon as we've been successful in doing.
awesome. Thank you.
We've seen a lot, big cost of services and trying to do things in every industry, everywhere, and the costs are going up. And we do this on a 4-year basis anyway. I'm not opposed to making a motion that we, say, approve $125,000 for the next 4 years to go towards this program. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
No, second.
So we have a motion for a 4-year commitment of $125,000 per year for those 4 school years, correct?
Okay, that's a motion.
And then we have a second from Keith. So on that, I would ask anyone in favor to signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion does carry. Kristen, thank you so much for what you do. It's very, very important.
Thank you very
And now
much.
you got to stick around.
Sounds good.
Very cool. So great program for us to learn about today. So thank you very much, Kristen, for taking the time out tonight. That actually concludes our old business that I have. We'll continue on to new business. And first up, we have a tax impact statement in regards to Patterson Street project. And I believe we have Emma Adlam here to speak a little bit on this.
4 years.
Do you want to read it first?
No, I think Commission, just as a way of background before Emma speaks, as a reminder, this is the Patterson Street project. We talked about it at the end of the year in December. Emma will talk a little bit about what the documents are, just briefly, but this project, again, is located at 320 North Patterson Street. And again, this is a building that's been demolished. Ultimately, the developer, we anticipate, will come before the city at some point requesting some financing, but this is part of the procedural process that essentially the developer and we have sought to reset the base TIF for it. So with that, maybe Emma, you could explain what this is.
Thanks, Rob. Good evening, everyone. Emma Adlam. I'm with Baker Tilly. And to give you a little bit more background from what Rob just mentioned, in December, you adopted what's called a declaratory resolution, which is the first step in amending a TIF area. And this TIF area was first created back in 2018. And at the time, like Rob mentioned, there was a building on this parcel. The project has kind of stalled for a couple of years. Since then, the building was demolished. So the amendment that you're considering is just to reset the base assessed value of the parcel to the current 2023 assessed value level. And as a part of the amendment process, we prepare what's called a tax impact statement. This was required by state statute that anytime you amend the boundaries or amend the boundaries of the allocation area, you need to tell the overlapping units what the impact will be on their assessed value and tax rates. So that has been done. They have been received in the time that's been required. And essentially, this impact statement just says that there is no impact to the overlapping units. That the base is reset to the current 2023 assessed value, that when the project moves forward and when the TIF is captured, the overlapping units still get that original, 23 assessed value. So there is no impact to them. So as part of the TIF approvals, it's gone to the Plan Commission, it's gone to the council, and tonight is the last step of that TIF amendment. You'll hold a public hearing and then consider a confirmatory resolution, which is essentially just confirms what you found in the declaratory, is that you want to move forward with the TIF amendment. And with that, I can take any questions that you might have.
Any questions for Emma? Perfect. So we'll have Rob go ahead and read our resolution in before we take a public hearing.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. President. Commission, Resolution 2023-01, again, is a confirmatory resolution approving the amendment to the declaratory resolution and economic development plan for the Patterson Street Economic Development Area. And again, on December 12th of 2022, this commission adopted Resolution 22-11, which amended the declaratory resolution and the economic development plan and area to remove the parcel that was listed in Exhibit A, and it's attached here to as the 2022 parcel, and then simultaneously add that parcel back into the area, and that's the amendment, all in accordance with Indiana law. On December 19th, 2022, the Plan Commission approved and adopted Order 2022-02, approving the declaratory resolution in the amendment. Pursuant to Section 17 of the Act, the Redevelopment Commission is caused to be published a notice of public hearing, which we'll have after I read this. Whereas at the public hearing held by the Redevelopment Commission on this date, February 13th, 2023, the Redevelopment Commission has heard all persons that are interested in this proceedings. Now, therefore, be it resolved, after considering the evidence presented at the public hearing and other evidence therewith, the Redevelopment Commission hereby confirms the findings and determinations, approving and adopting the actions contained in the declaratory resolution. The base assessment date for the entire allocation area is January 1, 2022. This declaratory resolution is hereby confirmed, and then the Secretary of the Redevelopment Commission is directed to record the final action taken by this commission pursuant to Indiana Code.
All right, so with that, we're read in. Any questions from the commission before I open for public comment? So with that, we will open the public hearing in regards to Resolution 2023-01, which is a resolution pertaining to the Patterson Street project. Anyone interested in speaking, feel free to step towards the podium. Seeing no sudden movements, I will then go ahead and close the public hearing. And with that, I would entertain a motion in regards to Resolution 2023-01.
I'll make a motion, we approve Resolution 2023-01, the conformatory for the Patterson Street project.
So we've got a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We've got a second as well. All those in favor signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion does carry. Thank you, guys. Next up, we have Resolution 2023-02, which is a resolution amending the declaratory resolution for the New Cold Phase 2 project. And Rob?
Yes, Commission, before I read this into just a way of background, this is again a procedural step where New Cold is looking to enter into its Phase 2 expansion of its property. You may remember a couple years ago, it came before this commission and did Phase 1, and the good news is now it's looking to expand. I'll just read what is attached as Exhibit B, just summarizing, but essentially what New Cold is looking to do is construct an approximately 300,000 square foot expansion to its New Cold facility. It's looking, the total cost of the project is going to be approximately $210 million, with approximately $12 million that are going to be in financing costs that will be at some point coming before this commission. The developer and owner of the project, New Cold Indianapolis, will fund the remaining costs of the project, and the developer anticipates that the project will employ approximately 100 employees with the average wage of $36 per hour. What we are doing in this step is because Phase 2 is going to involve the allocation area, this process and the declaratory is amending the plan that was before the commission before. So with that, I'll give a summary of the resolution. We'll be looking for some action. What we anticipate is the developer and others will come at a later date before this commission. Is that agreeable? Mm-hmm. All right, good. All right, Resolution 2023-02 is a resolution before this commission that again amends the consolidated plan for the Lebanon Consolidated Economic Development Area. This first paragraph is extensive, but I'll summarize it briefly. On October 9, 2017, the commission amended its declaratory resolution, and what is included in here several development areas, one of which is expanding the City of Lebanon Industrial Park development area. And we also then designated parcels as separate allocation areas, and all that's defined as the 2017 expansion allocation area, all in accordance with Indiana Code. There was also the Downtown Economic Development Area, the DA Lubricant Economic Development Area, the Lebanon Business Park, Building 11 Economic Development Area, the Fiber Debt Economic Development Area, State Road 32 Economic Development Area, and all these were then combined into a consolidated economic development area. In May 14, 2018, the Commission amended the declaratory resolution and also removed certain parcels from the 2017 expansion area. On October 13th of 2020, this commission further amended it and it removed a parcel from it, and that's what I was describing as the new cold allocation area. The commission now desires to further amend and supplement the consolidated plan with the new cold allocation area that, again, is described in Exhibit B, and that consists of the expansion of the new cold facilities within the new cold allocation area. The 2023 plan supplement and supporting data has been reviewed and considered, and the commission desires now to approve the 2023 plan supplement. The commission there finds that it will be a public utility and benefit to amend and supplement the consolidated plan as provided in the 2023 plan supplement, including the new cold allocation area. The consolidated plan as amended and supplemented by this resolution in the 2023 plan supplement conform to the comprehensive plan of the development for the city. The 2023 plan supplement is reasonable and appropriate when considered in relation to the declaratory resolution and consolidated plan. And the findings and determinations set forth in this declaratory resolution and the consolidated plan are hereby reaffirmed, and the 2023 plan supplement is hereby in all respects approved. Following receipt of a written order of this commission, it's authorized and directed to send this resolution to the City of Lebanon Plan Commission for approval and consideration. And the officers and representatives of the commission are authorized to make any and all findings necessary to carry out the purpose of this resolution.
I got every word of that. I think we're amending an amendment of an amendment, supplementary. So with that, are we taking action this evening, Rob?
Yeah, we would like that.
So we would take action in regards to Resolution 2023-02. Is there any questions from the commission? Good deal. So with that, I would entertain a motion in regards to the resolution.
Move we accept as presented, Resolution 2023-02.
So we've got a motion to accept Resolution 2023-02. Do we have a second?
Second.
We've got a second. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion does carry. All right, that takes us to the end of new business. Now, one clarifying point here. We were able to determine on 12/28, we all received a copy of the meeting minutes from our December meeting. So that December 12th meeting minutes have been sent to all of us. So I would like to, if you guys are good with it, go ahead and approve those minutes and move us on to claims. So I would entertain a motion on those minutes.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of December 12th.
Got a motion to approve.
Second.
We've got a second. All those in favor signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion does carry. Thank you guys very much. A little bit out of order, I do apologize, but we were able to track those down. And last up for us here, I do have our claims. I would entertain a motion to pay the claims.
I move we pay the claims for the February meeting.
Got a motion to pay the claims. Any second? We've got a second. All those in favor signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed signify with the same sign. That motion does carry. And last one of the evening for us,
Make a motion, we adjourn.
we've got a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? We've got a second. All those in favor signify with an aye. Aye. We are now adjourned. Thank you very much. We will see you at the March meeting of the Lebanon Redevelopment Commission.